What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is ASA Studio channel for music producers and photographers and so much more. Alright, so today we're going to be retouching this photo you see on the screen, and I've actually done a tutorial of this same photo, how to retouch it in Capture One. Is in the description or is also in the channel. You can find it there. And today we are going to be using Photoshop to edit this. So the main objective of this tutorial is how to fix different skin color or skin variation, how to add texture to your image, and how to clean blemishes. You can see blemishes on her forehead, rashes, and the rest. And some places are saturated and not. Some places are not. You can see below her hair here is actually too saturated with the orange, and this place is less saturated. And also on her skin tone, if I zoom in, there are more reds on the photo. You can see red over here, and why some places are just yellow and moderate. Okay, so and also her teeth, we're going to be fixing that, and the white color of her eyes to make it white instead of this one that is actually yellowish in color. So before that, we're also going to be doing some background darkening so that to bring the subject out. So enough of that, let's get started. The first thing we want to do is to actually balance the color or the skin tone. So the thing we're going to be using is the adjustment layer, which is hue and saturation, and this is how to use it, this is how to fix it. Now, two things to do is either you make it look like the yellows or you make it look like the red. In this case, I want to make it look like the yellows, so I don't want the red down below here. I want it to look like the yellow below her jaw. So I'm going to select where it's red, somewhere like this place, and then I'm going to click it. So you can see the slider over here, and you can see selected red. So just to fix that, increase this hue, and everything's going to turn green. And once everything turns green, you will notice that some places are more greener than the rest side, but I just want the places that are actually greener, somewhere like this and like this side. So I'm going to narrow down this till I get just the green places. So let's take it back, and somewhere like this I'm going to narrow out the color, and the slider I'm going to push it in like this. Okay, let's take it out a little bit more, so something like this. We can zoom out and you can see that the greens are actually indicating that that place is red. Okay, so I'm going to make this 0 back. Yeah, let's just hit 0 on the keyboard. 0. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm just going to adjust the hue so as to match with that. So I'm going to hold in and then zoom in. Let's take it down and see how this place matches this side of the image or this side. So increase the hue, and you can see the before. Let's zoom in. Before, which is the red, and after. You can also take it more forward, somewhere like 22 is actually fine for me, and we can increase the saturation a bit to 12. Alright, so let's zoom out and you can see the changes it made. Look at before and look at the after, look at before and look at the after. So one thing we need to do is to remove it from the places we don't need it. So I'm going to take the brush tool and then I'm going to erase it from this side. Make the foreground color black, and I'm going to hide it from this side. Yeah, I'm going to make the flow of the brush, increase it to 50 so as to get more color from that. So let's see before and after. I'm also going to remove it from this side just a little, and also remove it from this side and from the eyes, and I can turn it off and on, and I want that that back, the blushing, just a little of it, something like that. And I'm also going to bring it back here. So we have this before and then after. Okay, so that's that. And let's see where it is on the air also. So now I want to decrease the saturation of the air. So for us to do that, I'm going to create the hue and saturation again, and I'm going to go to select color range. Let's go to color range, and when color range open, I'm going to select this side, which is the air. You can hold down shift and select more places that seems to be saturated, somewhere like this, and which other places, I guess that's all, somewhere like this, and it will select that. But let's just do away with that selection only this one. I'm going to increase the fuzziness and then selected some places. I'm going to click OK. Now we can decrease the saturation of this side, and you can see how it looks before and then after. The saturation is actually dead there. Okay, so now let's make the teeth white. So I'm going to close that and then create another new adjustment layer, photo filter, and I'm going to change it to blue, cooling filter blue, and also I'm going to add another one, which is the black and white adjustment layer, and I'm going to decrease it, the flow, to somewhere around 20 or 30, and I'm going to group the two together. Now you group the two together, open up, click the mask to create a mask on it, and hit Ctrl I to invert the mask. Okay, so now I want it to show just on the teeth only. Make the brush smaller, and I'm going to paint over with white, foreground color white. I've changed the foreground color, so now you can paint over it like this, and you can see that the teeth is now actually white. You can also do this for the eyes and do this for this side, Okay, so let's zoom out and let's see before and after. So that looks too much. Let's turn down the blacks and see. So we also need to reduce the photo filter a little bit like this, and we can also reduce the opacity of the group, and we have something like this, so it looks natural unlike before. So that's actually how to make your teeth white. Okay, so now that we have that, we can also do some frequency separation. Okay, so let's create a stem visible layer, Ctrl Shift Alternate E to create a stem visible layer, and this time around we are going to do from frequency separation. You all know how to do frequency separation. There are tons of video on frequency separation, but I'm just going to quickly pause the video and run through it. Alright, so stay tuned and see you when I finish this frequency separation. Alright, so now I'm through with the frequency separation, and I can turn it off and on, so you can see the before and then the after, the before and then the after. Alright, so a lot of smoothing. And now I want to tidy up the texture, so just click on the texture layer, and then I'm going to go to clone stamp tool, because the first one I did is to just balance the unify the skin tones. So I'm going to hold down Alt and start fixing the blemishes, and then I'm going to come back and continue the video. Alright, so I'm finally done with the fixing of the texture. So this is frequency separation, and you can see before and then after. Before, you can see just the changes in the skin tones. So after that, we can actually work on the background. So I'm also going to create a saturation layer for that adjustment layer, and this time around I'm just going to select. I can actually use the hand tool and pick a point, and it brings out the blues. You can see the blue is selected. So if we increase, you see that it's just affecting just the blue area and in the photo. Okay, so now I'm just going to increase the saturation a bit, and then let's make it more blue or something that is actually eye-catchy. So that's looking okay. I'm going to decrease the lightness a bit, and this is looking okay for me. And if you feel like you still want to go ahead and make some saturation, I think it's okay, but you can turn it off and on. It's actually no big deal until we use the camera raw filter. Alright, so I'm gonna leave the hair the way it is. I can actually make it black, but I think that is actually okay. So let's create a stem visible layer, and after I create stem visible layer, we're going to camera raw filter to finalize. Then we make some ending color grading touches. So let's go to camera raw filter. Okay, so now here we are in camera raw filter. Let's start with the basic tab. We are gonna work with the highlight, increase the highlight to somewhere around there. Oh, that looks amazing. So that's nothing less than 15. I'm going to decrease the white. But let's bring up the white. Yeah, something like this. And the shadows, this place, I just want to make it lighter. So just to brighten up the photo the more. But I don't want it to expose. +7 is actually okay for me. And I can actually leave the blacks the way it is. So let's work with the texture, increase the texture just a bit. And I'm going to close that. I'm through with the exposure, the basic. Let's go to the curve, and I'm going to create an X curve right on top, take it up, and then take this one down. So let's take a look at before and then after, just a little change in the photo. I don't want it too dark. Now this is where things get a little bit interesting. The red, I want to change the hue of the red. I want to make it more reddish by taking it backwards, and also I want to make the orange look more, not of the orange but just the feel of the red. So I'm going to take it forward a bit, like -5. Make the yellows look like the yellows, not greens, something like that. And the green, make it look like green. Of course there's no green except for the eye side, so I'm going to make this one look more bluish and make the purple look more bluish too. So I'm through with it. Let's go to luminance. The luminance of the blue, I'm going to make it darker, so which is that of the background. The aqua too, make it darker, and that of the down, I'm just going to decrease everything I see right here, and the magenta back a bit. Okay, so for the oranges, I want the orange to pop out the more, so I'm just going to increase the luminance of that a little bit so it looks brighter, and also the yellow +5. So the red, let's make the red darker, yeah, to create more contrast with the leaves and that. Okay, for the saturation of the orange, I'm not going to go too far with it, but the red, surely we need to add some saturation, and it's actually affecting the lips, of which you can see the lips are red and the cheeks. And also for the oranges, I can actually leave it just because some places are saturated right here, because if you increase the saturation, it increases the saturation of those places. You can actually see it's increasing saturation, but that's too much. If we want to do that, let's just put like +3 to it, and the yellows we can actually take that off, of course. Okay, so that's for the hue and saturation. And okay, let's open it up again, and let's see the saturation of the blues, make it bluish, and that of the aqua, make it more aquish, if there's anything like that, sorry. Okay, so now the last part is the calibration. Now the calibration will make things more interesting. If we take the red primary to the right for fair skin, but for black skin I like taking it backwards. So just take this to the right, and you kind of see a yellow feel, and take the blues to the left, and you see some, just before and then after, it adds some rich skin color or tones, and then you can balance the greens whichever way you want it. Taking it back makes it look like the yellow. I don't want the yellow part, I just want something real. So I'm looking at the picture while I adjust, so taking it back, let's see before, so take it forward. I think I like it like this, but how about back? That's affecting the air, so I like taking it the same place the way the red prime is actually going. So I'm gonna hit OK on the keyboard, and then I'm gonna have this selection of the picture replace the one we have before. Alright, so well, yeah, we have the before and then the after. So let's do some last color grading. Go to the adjustment and create balance, color balance adjustment layer. And in the color balance adjustment layer, I'm going to start with the shadows, and let's add a little bit of blues to make things more interesting. Blues, and I will leave the red. I'm going to take this backwards to add some magenta. Wow. Okay, so that's I'm going to leave this one, but let's just take it towards the cyan. And the highlight, make the highlight a little bit greenish, yeah, something like that. And we can add some yellow. And while I'm doing this, I'm just actually looking at the photo to see where it's actually looking good and looking great. So I guess this is actually, let's reduce the red. Okay, you should we? Yeah, so this is just the perfect place. Let's just leave that one at 0 then, and let's go to the midtones. On the midtones, let's see what fits the image the most. 0. Let's add some blues, and I'm going to leave it like that, so before and then after. Alright, so that looks natural to me. I can create one more, which is the vibrance, and then we increase the vibrance to the end, extreme end, like this. And vibrance just add a little bit of richness to the. You can also add some skin texture. I don't want the video to be long, but I think I actually love the photo the way it's actually looking like this right now. Okay, so you can actually create some with curves, and don't do too much because you're just gonna end up. Let's see how the histogram looks like. So I'm going to take the slider back a bit and make things look brighter from the outside. Alright, so let's create a time visible layer and call it a day. So now we have I'll create a time visibility. I'm going to group everything together and turn it off so we can see before and then after frequency separation. Okay, so this is how to make your photo look more interesting before and then after, before and then after. All right, so if you like the video, you can actually hit the like button and turn on the notification button to get notified whenever I post video. If you're new to the channel, kindly please like the channel for more videos like this. All right, so see you guys in our next video. Thank you.